I have recorded this so many times. Did this die? Oh, it did die. Wow. I'll just try to go based off of memory, I guess. Well, the first one I remember it was what influenced you to start pursuing music, and who were your biggest influences? I would say my dad. My dad is a sound engineer for as long as I can remember. Being able to watch him like record people, like live instruments, or doing the sound at like churches or events or fairs. And he would make beats, and then he would make me sing like on the beats that he would make. So that was kind of like a way from a very young age to like see like how music is made, like from the instruments to the computer to hearing it to the playback. Like I guess that's kind of like where that came from. My sister's mom, she always sang everywhere. I was forced to listen to her sing. She wasn't bad, but it was just like a lot. The way she would repeat a song to death, oh my god, please. I have trauma from Mary J. Blige, like the one where she's like, that song over and over and over. It's a lot. It's a lot. I guess my parents are the ones that are kind of like influenced a little bit into the music ever since I was young. In terms of like listening, like music artists that I listen to that kind of may have an influence on my artistic journey, I would say is Michael Jackson. It's his stage presence. I would always watch his, like, I think it was Birmingham performance, like in the 90s. Stage presence on point. And Aaliyah, she, like, I liked her voice. She was artistic. She was just a girl. Her voice was smooth. Fifi Dobson, because she was, you know, black or whatever, and she did music outside of the norm. She did alternative. So I really appreciated her artwork from a young age. And Hilary Duff was somebody that I was kind of like a little obsessed with. I want to also throw, like, in terms of music, like Raven Simone. I don't think she gets any like enough credit for her music. Her album that she had, This Is My Time is the name of the album. Honorary mentions, I had Shakira, Laundry Service. That was like my first CD. I think I accidentally got the Spanish version. I like knew all her songs in Spanish and didn't even speak or understand Spanish. Daddy Yankee, I don't know. But yeah, those are kind of like my influences when it comes to like people that stood out in my journey. So the next question is, how do you overcome creative blocks in your artistic journey? How do you overcome them? Well, basically when it comes to music and like having a creative block, I don't force myself when it comes to music. Like I feel like it comes in ebbs and flows. Sometimes I'm gonna feel like making music, sometimes I'm not, but I try to be proactive. So what I do is anytime I hear a beat like on YouTube, I'll save it to a playlist, and then when I do get in those moods where I do feel like making music, I'll listen to that playlist of all the beats that I saved, and then I will just kind of listen to it and like start, you know, kind of rough drafting songs if something speaks to me, or if I hear a melody and a beat. Usually I'll play the song from my phone, and then I'll use the voice memo recording from my watch. Because if I don't record it, then I'll forget like how I did it or how it goes or whatever. So that's kind of like how I kind of stay proactive. Even when I'm not creating songs or music, I still try to like just at least save the beats. I try to force myself, like I was supposed to be dropping once a month on the 13th, and that kind of would help me get out of like creative ruts, because I knew like I needed to have something for the next month. So that can kind of help, like having a deadline can kind of like help with creative blocks. But I would say like just be present so that you can take inspiration. Like something that inspires me when I'm having a creative block is like seeing other artists or local artists. Maybe they're doing something, or maybe they're performing, or whatever it is. It'll kind of like reignite that fire. Or if I'm going through something and I want to talk about it, you know, and then I get in that mood, and then I can just bring up that playlist. But that's how I kind of go about creative blocks and overcoming it. I just let it come and go. I don't force it. If I don't feel like doing music, I'm not doing music. I just kind of listen to myself, listen to my body or whatever. Can you describe a defining moment in your career that impacted your artistic journey? That was kind of like what the question was. I would say my first show, like my first live show, is something that impacted me because it was like, okay, I'm taking it from SoundCloud and I'm like actually performing, like actually moving one step closer to my dream of being able to do this for a living. Another impactful, significant moment is when I got paid for performing for the first time. That was something that kind of impacted uh, my journey because it just made me feel like, okay, now I'm a paid artist. Now I get paid when I do shows. So it is something that is one, another step closer to like potentially doing this for a living, like being able to live off of it. I just believe in being grateful for the small things and then you get blessed with more. Those are the two significant moments that impacted my journey. I would say maybe releasing my first song. That was kind of like a big moment for me where it was like, wow, I'm putting something out into the world. But yeah, those were probably impacting moments. I still feel like there could be some more like in the future, like to come. Like an impactful moment, when I performed in Connecticut, it was like off the fly. So that's where it was like, okay, like nationwide artists. Now I just need to like perform in Mexico or something and get international artists under my belt. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of your career, like music career? So personal life, I don't really have that much of a personal life, I guess. I just pretty much work. I work a full-time job, 40 hours a week. And then, I don't have that many friends. I could usually just schedule things on the weekends. On the weekends, I'm free more so if I don't have a show or if I don't have something already planned. So it's not too bad, at least right now. I don't come home super drained. That kind of frees up some mental space at times. And then, like, kind of being alone, it's just like, I'm not shy, to work on music if somebody else is here. So it kind of balances out itself. Now sometimes music does kind of clash during the week because sometimes I'll have shows like after work. So in those instances it's like but I'm willing to sacrifice that to perform. To me every new year is worth it. At least at this point in my career where I'm trying to get my name more out there. But yeah, to balance personal life and music life, it's not that bad. It's just more so like staying disciplined and focused. That's probably my issue. Especially sometimes when I do come home a little tired, I just don't feel like doing anything when I could be working on music or something like that. But it's not that hard to balance. You just make time for it. I have a planner. I write everything in my planner. So yeah, it's not too bad balancing the two. Next question is, what themes or messages are you most passionate about conveying through your music or in your music? I don't have like one theme of music or message. I think every song, it just depends on each song. Some songs are about life, some songs are about love, some songs are about standing on business, some songs are about fake friends, like some songs are sucia. I think the overall theme or message is probably just diversity, like just to not be put in a box and don't let people put you in a box. If you want to be in a box, then be in a box, but if you don't, then you can do whatever you want. Like if you want to do a crunk song one day and then a love song, R&B song, then do it. Like, especially like for male rappers, like if you want to do the rap, Southeast sound, but you want to try maybe like EDM, like go ahead and do it. I think the overall theme is just diversity. Like just there's something for everybody. Like I feel like when I get into like my background of like music interests and tastes and whatnot, it kind of makes sense because it's like I grew up around everything. So I would say that's the overall kind of like theme or message. It's just like do whatever you want, do what thou wilt. I'm just kidding. Yeah, just kind of like do what makes you happy. Do what's most authentic to yourself, your personal individual self. Next question is, how has your identity and background influenced your music? So this is where I get my diversity from. So we're gonna take, okay, so timeline is like I grew up in the 90s, so getting all that like well, first off, like Mary Jane Girls type era, you know, those like Brick House songs, those type of songs. And then you know, of course, there was like some Bone Thugs and Harmony and Tupac in there. Moving into the 2000s, where you get the Nelly, Yin Yang Twins, Ashanti, Destiny's Child, Buju Banton. I was introduced to Buju Banton, and then I got introduced to like the Latin music, Selena, my stepmom, Selena, Shakira, Cafe Tacuba. Can't forget about Outkast. I forgot to mention that my stepmom had like this Christian era, so I was introduced to like alternative rock music, like Family First Force 5. I was introduced to like Barlow Girl, and then Shaka, Evan and Phil Wickham, like Christian artists, Becca Shea. And then I kind of got into like the Ty Tribbett and Lecrae type of era. But yeah, that was another little era. Then kind of moving into like when I lived in Belize, the soca music, carnival music, punta music, Super G, Andy Palacio, Mr. Pitas, Mavado, Vibes Cartel. And coming back to America, I came back in the jerk era, so New Boys. Oh, and we can't forget about like the Soldier Boy and all that stuff. But and Ludacris. But then okay, so fast forward like Soldier Boy. I mean, New Boys, Sage the Gemini, YG, Basic Boys, the Pack, whatever. So that was kind of like that, like the little ratchet era. And then out of high school was more so like the Kendrick, the Absol, the Schoolboy Q, that type of era. And then we can't forget about my rock from Guitar Hero. Shout out Guitar Hero, Painted Black, and you know all those people. And then somewhere in high school, I was getting into like the old music, like Dean Martin type of, you know, music. We can't forget about Sade. And then after high school, after the Kendrick and Absol and all that, I got into Afrobeat, Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido. And right before Dembow, I was into like Savi the Third, RJ, Mr. LA, Wally the Sensei type LA music as well. And then now I'm kind of like in my Dominican Dembow era. All of that, all encompassing, is just a lot of layers to like the type of music I like and listen to. Right now, I think I'm in a spot where I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of like the Creole or patois into the music, with the Afro Caribbean feel, even with like the dembow. And like one thing that dembow does the best that I can actually verbalize now, because you know, if I heard it in a song, like I would like the song, but I can't really verbalize what's going on. But I love a song that has a lot going on, a lot of layering, a lot of different noises, but it's all cohesive. And a good example of that is like a song by J1. It's called Abre la Boca, and I like when he gets to the hook and it's just like and I love that. Like that's like a for me. And then the bass, like I love a low bass, a low vibrational bass that just vibrates your body. Like I love bass like that. So yeah, I would say like all of that encompassing. I think now I'm kind of like in my little Afro Caribbean Latin pop. An engineer called, like, if he had to put it, because I asked like what genre of music would you put this under, like my new project, and he was like Latin pop. But I was like, it could be R&B, it could be Afro, Amapiano type, but I don't know. But at least when you listen to my music and you hear that it's kind of like it's a mixture of that whole Caribbean side. What advice would you give young women looking to break out into the music industry? Be smart, be nice to a certain extent, learn how to have boundaries and stand up for yourself. Be safe, be aware of your surroundings, learn your industry, learn the very basic, at least to learn how to record yourself. You don't necessarily need to be an engineer or learn how to mix and master, but I think learning how to record yourself at the very least could put you at an upper hand in terms of like getting music done the way you want it on your time, learning like certain terminology and stuff like that. I think just being smart. Like I could do probably a separate video of things, advice to give young women in specifics, but I think like yeah, like being smart, being aware, being nice, but like having boundaries, because you know there are other artists and other women artists out there that just like their nose turn up, like they're just bougie, they just, you know, like that. And it's like come on now, do you really have to be like that? With women, like we're already a minority in the music industry, so it's like you gotta stick together, or at least like just not be mean. Like we don't need to be mean girls. And yeah, just be aware, be smart. You know, this is male dominated industry. I would say don't have tough skin, thick skin. Don't take it to heart if like men are talking to you, or you know, because that's how they interact. And sometimes, you know, like you can't feel a type of way if someone's talking to you a little rough, if that's just like kind of like how they are. um it is a male dominated industry, but definitely like don't have people talk to you crazy or any type of way. You can walk away, you can tell them like, hey, like, you know, but don't be that person that's like so holier than thou, because that's not the real world. That's not the real world. But yeah, I could probably do a separate video. How do you handle criticism or feedback on your artistry or your music? I welcome it. I don't mind feedback, I don't mind criticism, especially if it's coming from somebody that has a little bit more expertise or knowledge in the music industry. If you know, sometimes I'll get like, oh, it was a little flat, or oh, maybe try this or do that. I'm very open to that. But if you're just like gonna be mean about, nobody has really like been this way, but if you're just gonna just be mean and nitpicky, it's just like, for what? If I like it, I like it. And but I am open to feedback, I am open to criticism, because it can make you better. You have the potential of it making you a better artist at the end of the day. Just take it with a grain of salt. Like I just take it with a grain of salt. As you kind of navigate through the world of engineers, you'll kind of, you know, every engineer is different, just like, you know, every therapist is different, every teacher is different. Some learning styles you like, you know, or you have those different group of friends. Some group of friends you go to for this certain thing, some group of friends you go to talk about another certain type of thing. So it's kind of just like that. I don't mind it. I mean, now if you're just being an a-hole, like, which I haven't had this, but then it's like whatever. Like if I like it and I feel comfortable about something, then you can't really change my mind about it. Are there any specific challenges that I face being a female artist, and how do I navigate them? I would say when it comes to like men, that's a challenge. Not necessarily me, it's more so them. Like of course at the end of the day, just like with anywhere, with work, with school, with whatever, like men are gonna be men. Especially if you know you're not an ugly looking yeah, if you're not like a butt ugly, you know, person, you're gonna have to deal with the men, you know, the thirsties. You're gonna have to deal with the people that's like constantly, you know, bothering you or in your face or whatever. You just gotta have like boundaries. That's something that I had struggled with, not even like with just within music, but like in general, like maybe having those boundaries. um so I mean, how did I navigate? I read some books just about setting boundaries and stuff like that. Don't let people take advantage of you, um, or and don't put yourself in the position to be taken advantage of. And really read the room, trust your instinct and stuff like that, in terms of challenges. But yeah, sometimes you know, I'll meet somebody. I've you know, ran into this situation where I was at an event and you know there was another artist there, and you know I got a ride home, and then it just turned into this big thing where you know I just, thank God, nothing was forced upon me in that moment. That is definitely a challenge that you know you couldn't run into. Yeah, navigating through like that is kind of just what you would do like at work or whatever. Just kind of ignore it and just be smart. You know, just ignore it, be smart. You know what it is, but assess the situation. Assess the situation. Assess the pros and cons. Just try not to burn bridges unless they need to be burnt. I will also say maybe like another challenge that I faced is just like the funding part. It's really expensive to be a female artist. Like it's expensive to be a female, and then it's expensive to be an artist, and then it's expensive to be a female artist, you know? So the you know, you gotta look presentable. The makeup, the hair. I don't really do my nails. I do too much with my hands to be worried about nails. And it's expensive. And then that's just like the being a girl part, the clothes and all that. That's just the being a girl. Now you gotta factor in mics, speakers, laptops, SSD cards and USBs and subscriptions and Pro Tools and cameras and the technical side, the gas to get to places, the makings of like, you know, getting a beat, or if God forbid you want a music video, or you know, like it gets expensive. I think that is kind of like a struggle because it's like it kind of hinders the production, like putting out more things, because it's like there's just so much going on. Oh my God. Yeah, I would say that's kind of like a challenge. Overcoming that, just I have to budget, figure out ways to get this money by tomorrow. Merch, if you guys want to support, get some merch. That's the most cost-effective way to help an artist. Streams, playing the songs, I appreciate it, but get you some merch to match. Streams, you get like a penny of like a percentage of a penny. Next question is, what role does collaboration play a part of your, you know, play a part, and who are some people that you would like to collab with? I don't know, the question was something like that. I think I'm gonna do a part 2 because there are some other questions, but I don't want the video to be too long because then I have to edit all of that at once. So I think I'm gonna just do these questions, but I'll be answering that question and other questions, good questions, in another video. So make sure you know, do all that good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, bye.